Welcome to the 10-Minute Treasure. My name is Jeff Pospisil. And in this video, I want to share with you what I believe is the single biggest mistake that treasurers often make. And this is myself included. I've been a treasurer now for over 20 years with churches and nonprofits and various other organizations. And it is a mistake that we just tend to fall into. At least I do, and I see it among others. So I want to share that with you. But first, I want to just remind you that if you like, subscribe, comment, share, that really helps the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. It's very encouraging for me to see. Before we go into where I think we're missing the mark as treasurers, I want to lift up the places that we almost always hit the mark. You know, whether you're an accountant, a treasurer, a bookkeeper, we're usually cut from about the same cloth, and we have a lot of the same characteristics. So, for example, you know, we know what side the debits and credits go on. We are very accurate when it comes to those income and expenses and balancing the cash. And in fact, it'll normally drive most of us nuts if anything is not in balance and looking like it's accurate. The next thing is that we run like clockwork. I mean, we're usually very routine driven, so we cut checks on the same day, we do our work on the same day, we cut reports on the same day. We like that routine, and I think that's also very important in running your business, is having a predictable routine for people to count on. And the last one is that we like to crunch numbers. We just enjoy working with numbers, and if you have a problem with numbers that you need solved, we are the type of person that usually likes to take on that problem. So you can trust us to crunch your numbers, you can trust us to be accurate, you can trust us to be on a very steady routine. Well, if we're not missing the mark when it comes to accuracy or consistency or anything like that, where are we missing the mark? And I tend to miss the mark, and I've seen others miss the mark here, is when it comes to communicating financial information to non-financial people. And you've probably been there at a meeting where you've given a budget report, you've given a financial report, and you look around and you see some people with this face. Was that even English? You know, I remember, for example, I was at a Board of Pensions meeting, and I like to give my reports with a little bit of gusto, a little bit of excitement. And so I'm going through this report, and as I get to the end, a long time actually member of that board, he made the comment that, "I don't know what you said, but I like how you said it." And I thought to myself, was that a compliment or not? But I think it was me falling into that trap, is that the main reason that I give the report is so that people could understand it. And that's even why I keep that financial information. That's why I tried to do good work on getting accurate financial records, is so that I could communicate them. Let me give you a non-financial related example that will hopefully help this stick in our minds, but also maybe shed some light on the problem. So this statue right here to the side of me, that statue is going to be dedicated today, the day that I'm recording this, and it's erected right in front of my building at Dakota Wesleyan University. So when it was very first erected, maybe about 2 weeks ago, everybody that passed by it, they're like, "What is it?" You know, it's different from any other statue. It's a little bit abstract. Some people made jokes, some people just scratched their head, but it was hard to fully appreciate it when you didn't understand it. And now that I've heard this backstory and I've learned more about what makes it special, now I can appreciate it. Well, accounting is a little bit of an art too. We're not working with clay or resin or whatever else, but we're working with numbers, and we're artfully putting them into a form. But then we still, even though we might have it in the form that we want it to be in the form that it should be in, we still have to do some interpretation. We still have to help people understand why this is important, what is unique, what stands out. So if part of our duty is to interpret the language of accounting, which is numbers, into English, how good of an interpreter are you? So what I did is I put together a couple of self-assessment questions just to help you get an idea of how well you're doing in the area of interpreting finances into English. And so the first question that I have is, does it seem like nobody on the board or nobody on the committee or nobody on the staff understands your reports? It's not uncommon for a handful of people to just not get it, but if it's the majority of people, chances are the problem's not the people, but it's how you're communicating. And so that's one of the first signs. The second one is, are people asking good questions? So a good question shows that they are understanding it. It shows that they are engaged with it, and it also shows that you're approachable. So are they asking good questions? Maybe not every time, but every now and then does a good question come up. Another one is, are we taking time with especially those that are new, to be a teacher? To not assume that just because they're on the committee, they know everything there is to be about the church finances or the ministry finances or whatever. I don't know how many times I was at a board of pensions meeting or a finance committee meeting, and I'm just flying through the reports because I've been doing it for 10, 15 years. And then people ask questions, and then it's a reminder, oh, yeah, this is the first time or the second time you're looking at this report. You probably don't know all the acronyms and all the important details. So then I have to slow down and put my teacher hat on, and that makes a big difference if you're willing to do that, because then it also, not only is that helpful for the brand new people, but it's a good reminder for those that have been on the committee for a number of years and maybe they've forgotten. The next one is, are you adapting your reports as needs change? Are you adapting them? If different things are becoming a priority, do you actually adapt your reports to fit how the ministry looks today, not just the way it looked 10 years ago? And this one would relate, this last one is, are you seeking feedback? And this is one of the tough ones. Sometimes you don't get much for feedback, but I remember especially when I was with Bismarck First United Methodist Church, I would ask, I think annually I would ask, so is there anything we should be changing the reports to show better? You know, is there any way to show this better? And I mainly ask that to my finance committee. But that's a good question for you to ask other leaders, people that you trust, people that seem like they get it. Is there anything that we could be doing, that I could be doing better? That does bring us to the end, but I want to give you a little bit of a preview before I sign off. And I'm going to stay in this track here for the next month or more, the track of financial reporting. So I want to dig into some financial reports. I want to dig into some best practices to help us become better interpreters. And that's where we're going to be going. And before I finally sign off, I just want to lift up, go to my website, jctaccounting.com. Go to Dakota Wesleyan University, which is dwu.edu. Great place to go if you want to finish your degree, if you want to get an MBA, or if you have a young person that wants to get a degree and you want them to have faith, leadership, service, all those good things besides just a solid education, a great place to check out. All right, God bless you till next time.